Good morning, students. Welcome back in your SS class. Student, we have been discussing about our second chapter of history, that is nationalism in India. And if we think about this video lecture, it would be the 7th part. Already we have covered 6 parts of this chapter, and in these 6 parts of the chapter, we have completed a maximum part of the chapter. First of all, we have given the introduction and see that how Mahatma Gandhi came into India and how they became famous in India. Then we have discussed some small movement and one big movement, non-cooperative movement. In the last video lecture, we have discussed about civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement. This movement, it was launched in 1930 with the movement with the Dandi March. You can say that with the Salt March, and Salt it was a significant thing which is touched with every person of the society. Okay, but this movement, it became a violent movement. That's why Mahatma Gandhi withdrew this movement. This was the basic reason. Okay, but when Mahatma Gandhi went in London for the second roundtable conference, he was very disappointed because none of his demand was accepted. That's why when he returned in India, he saw that Congress became illegal. And Jawaharlal Nehru and other political leaders, they were arrested. That's why Mahatma Gandhi relaunched civil disobedience movement. But second time, very few people participated in it. Now, dear student, in this video lecture, we will start how the participant saw the movement. It means we will see the opinion of different people who had participated in civil disobedience movement. We have to see here that what they think about Swaraj. Yes, what was the opinion of related to Swaraj here? Let's discuss about it. First of all, let's come to the villages area, and first of all, we will discuss about rich peasants. It means the peasants who has a lot of land for the cultivation. So let's discuss about the rich peasant, how they saw Swaraj. Let's discuss about this thing. If we think about rich peasant, now dear student, I have given two names here: Patidars of Gujarat, Jats of Uttar Pradesh. Remember these 2 points, because the question will be asked that in the rural areas, who was the participant of the civil disobedience movement? And you have given 4 options, and one of them, it is Patidar of Gujarat. Then you have to click on Patidar of Gujarat. Remember this thing. Okay, so rich peasants like Patidar of Gujarat and Jats of Uttar Pradesh, so they were the producer of the commercial crop. But whenever there was a great economical depression, they had a bad effect on them. Even the prices of their grain, it was fallen. It means there was a great crisis for them. And as their income was disappeared, so if they don't have income, then how would they repay the revenue? How would they pay the revenue? Remember this thing. That's why they found impossible to pay revenue. Okay, when Mahatma Gandhi started civil disobedience movement, these rich peasants, they participated in this civil disobedience movement in a very enthusiastic manner. And very enthusiastically, they participated in this civil disobedience movement. Reason is that because if they would participate in it, it means they would not pay any revenue. So here, for them, fight for Swaraj, it means they were fighting against high revenue. Their revenue must be reduced. Now think about what was the meaning of Swaraj here. Here the meaning of Swaraj, it means they were fighting against high revenue. Their revenue must be revised. Their revenue must be reduced, and you can say abolished. So that's why they were participating in civil disobedience movement. Mahatma Gandhi's meaning of Swaraj, it was to get complete independence. But here, these peasants, they participated in civil disobedience movement, and according to them, Swaraj, it means that they were fighting against high revenue. Their revenue must be removed, must be reduced. right? So here the meaning of Swaraj is this. Okay, but when civil disobedience movement, it was called off in 1931, and their revenue was not discussed and was not revised. And even you can say that in the second round table conference, the topic of the revenue, it was not discussed. That's why when Mahatma Gandhi relaunched civil disobedience movement again, then they refused to participate in it. They did not participate in the civil disobedience movement second, right? Because reason is that because their the demand of their reduce of the revenue, it was not discussed in the, you can say that, in the second round table conference. That's why they did not participate in the civil disobedience movement second. Okay, also you would get to know that what was the meaning of Swaraj of the rich peasants when they participated in civil disobedience movement. Okay, now let's discuss about the poor peasants, how they saw Swaraj here. If we think about small farmers, they have very little and they have very low land on which they cultivate. Sometimes they cultivated the land of the landlords. It means they work as a tenants in those, you can say that, those land. As the economic depression continued, so small farmers, they found it that difficult to pay any type of revenue. They were not able to pay rent also. That's why they demanded that their revenue must be cancelled. Their revenue must be cancelled. It means that here they are participating for the no rent campaign. If they were participating in the civil disobedience movement, it means the Swaraj here no rent. It means their revenue would be cancelled. But when but when poor people, they started no rent campaign, Congress did not support it. Reason is that if they would participate in no rent campaign, it means this might upset the big landlords, the rich farmers. That's why they did not support the no rent campaign movement. This was the basic reason. Remember this thing. Okay, so if we think about the poor peasants, as per the poor peasants, if they were participating in civil disobedience movement, it means they were against to cancel their revenue. So they were against to pay revenue. It means their revenue must be abolished, must be cancelled. Right? So that's why poor peasants participated in it. Also, these two persons, it would be clarify what they thought about Swaraj. Okay. Now next see the business classes. How business classes participated and why business classes participated in this movement. Now, dear student, we have already discussed about the business and industry in the previous classes also. British government made such a policy that ruined our business. But during the First World War, our business class, they got huge profit. Reason that is that because maximum industry of the European country, they were engaged just only for the war related activities. That's why during the First World War, our business class, they got huge profit because they made whatever the product is, everything was sold and everything was in demand in India as well as in abroad also. That's why they got huge profit during the First World War. But the colonial policy restricted again their business activities after the First World War. Means when the First World War was finished, when the First World War was over, after the First World War, colonial policies, they again restricted the business activities. So that's why they demanded such a policy which support them. They always against the import of the foreign goods. If foreign goods are imported, then high duties must be imposed on them. So for the business class, if we think about it, for the business class, restrictions were be given on the import of the foreign goods, and they must have been given such a policy which supported these business activities, their business activities. Okay, and next thing, to protect their interest, the business class, they made two business council. The first one is Indian Industry and Commercial Congress in 1920. It would be the most important question because it would be asked that two business council, they were formed to protect the business class in India. What were these? The first one is Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress. It is founded in 1920. The second one is FICCI. Remember this thing. What is FICCI? FICCI. F Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. And it was formed in 1927, led by G.D. Birla, Purushottam Thakur Das. These were prepared by these big industrialists, right? And these two business council, they protect the business class in India. Okay, these business groups, they gave financial support to the civil disobedience movement. They refused to buy and sell the imported goods also. But my dear student, their demand was not discussed in, you can say that the demand was not accepted during after the civil disobedience movement. That's why whenever the civil disobedience movement, it was relaunched again, business class refused to participate in it. And if we think about here, Swaraj means no restrictions on their business, and restrictions must be imposed on the import of the foreign goods. According to them, this was the Swaraj meaning of the business class. Right? Now you can see that we have discussed 3 points here. The first one is rich peasants. Second is poor peasants. Next one is business class. Now you would see that how they found Swaraj. What was the meaning of Swaraj according to them? No one demanded that complete independence must be there here. Right? Now, next thing, let's discuss about the industrial workers, how they saw civil disobedience movement. If we think about industrial workers, the participation of industrial workers in the civil disobedience movement, it is not very good. Means there are very few participants of the industrial workers. Just only in Nagpur, the industrial workers, they participated. अब यहाँ पर एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि why they did not participate. Reason is that the most important reason is there that because if Congress support the workers, the industrialists would not support the Congress, because the industrial workers, they demand that their wages must be increased, the working condition must be improved, their working hour must be fixed and must be limited. These were the demands of the industrial workers. And if Congress support these demands, the industrialists, they would not accept it. They would not support the civil disobedience movement and support the Congress also. That's why Congress did not support the industrial workers. This was the basic reason. So here, if we think about the industrial workers, here Swaraj means to increase their wages and to improve the working condition. Now see what is the meaning of Swaraj by the industrial worker. Okay. Now next come to the women. This was the most important again. If we think about Dandi March, thousands of the women, they participated in it. Not in Dandi March, even civil disobedience movement, even non-cooperation movement. Many women, they participated in it. Even when there was a protest march, when there was a demonstration, women participated in this march in a very enthusiastic manner. Even there are many women who manufactured salt in many places and they broke the salt law. And due to this thing, many women, they went in jail also. And whenever Mahatma Gandhi called, they moved to by it. And even they saw the service of nation, it was a sacred, it was a pure duty of women. It means it was a real duty of women. That's why they participated in it in a very huge manner. But the demand of women, it was not again raised by the Congress due to the conservative people, due to the high caste. Because women wanted that right to vote must be given. They must have some political they must have been given some political rights also. But Congress did not raise the voice of these women also. But instead of it, thousands of the women, they participated in every movement what was started by Congress and Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, I think so. It would be clear to all of you that how participants saw the civil disobedience movement. What was the meaning of Swaraj here for these people? I think so. It would be clear to all of you. Now, next most important question: what were the limitations of the civil disobedience movement here? It would be the most important question. Remember this thing. Okay, so let's discuss about the limitation of the civil disobedience movement. The first one is that whosoever participated in it, the concept of Swaraj, it was totally different by everyone. The concept of Swaraj, it was totally different by everyone. None of them participated for the complete independence. Their meaning of Swaraj, it would totally different. Okay. Second thing, not all social groups, they participated in the Swaraj. They participated in the civil disobedience movement. Means there are a lot of groups. They did not participate in civil disobedience movement. Like I have discussed about the industrial workers. Okay. At the same time, the most important thing, Congress ignored Dalit people and depressed class due to the fear of the offending of the conservative high Hindu class. So whenever there was the demand of Dalit, Congress ignored the demand of these depressed class. Congress, you can say that Congress are always ignored. And from mid 1920, if we think about Congress, it was visible as a Hindu dominating political party. It looks like a Hindu Mahasabha. That's why Muslim, they felt alienated from Congress. Muslim did not participate in Congress meetings. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he demanded separate electorate in 1930 because he saw his fear that their culture was in danger. Their culture was in danger because if we think about Congress, it looked like a Hindu Mahasabha. And due to this thing, Muslim League, it was found in 1906 so that the interest of the Muslim people can be protected. Okay. Next thing, industrial workers, they did not participate in it, participated in it also. I have already discussed it. So if we get 3 points of it, first of all, not all the social groups, they participated in the civil disobedience movement. First point is this. Second thing, Dalit, they did not, a depressed class, they did not participate in it. Third, fear of the Muslim people. Fourth, the fear of the industrial workers. These 4 points would be considered the limitation of the civil disobedience movement. These 4 points would be considered the limitation of the civil disobedience movement. Okay. This would be most important question. Remember, dear student, this would be most important question. Okay. Now, next topic, it would be Pune Pact. And the question arises here that what was Pune Act and why was it signed? Why was it signed? So let's discuss about Pune Pact. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, he found an association in 1930 that is called Depressed Class Association. One marks most important question. Depressed Class Association, it was found in 1930 by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar to protect the interest of the Dalit people. Remember this thing. Question is, when it was formed in 1930 by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar to protect the interest of the Dalit people, and it was formed by Bhim Rao Ambedkar. Okay. So when there was a second roundtable conference, Depressed Class Association nominated Bhim Rao Ambedkar as their leader. So Mahatma Gandhi represented whole India, but depressed class, they were represented by Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. And this Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, this person had participated in all roundtable conference. First roundtable conference, second also, third also. In all the roundtable conference, Bhim Rao Ambedkar, he participated in all those roundtable conference. Okay. Now, in the second roundtable conference, Bhim Rao Ambedkar, he clashed with Mahatma Gandhi in London. Bhim Rao Ambedkar demanded for the separate electorate for Dalit. He said that without their representation, Dalit people, depressed class, would not emerge, would not develop. So that's why he demanded for separate electorate for the Dalit. British accepted this demand at once because they have just only divide and rule policy. They have always divide and rule policy. In this manner, Dalit people and rest of the Hindu Samaj, they would be separated. That's why British accepted this demand at once, but Mahatma Gandhi opposed it. Reason is that because it divided the community, it slowed down the struggle movement of the Swaraj. That's why Mahatma Gandhi opposed it. Even when this demand, when Bhim Rao Ambedkar, he was adamant, and you can say वो जिद्दी बन गए थे, तो Mahatma Gandhi, he had a fast unto death if this demand would not be rejected. After then, Bhim Rao Ambedkar agreed with the point. So Pune Pact was signed in September 1932, which gave reserved seats for Dalit people in the provincial and central legislative council, but separate electorate would be not there. They would participate in the general election, which would be for everyone. But here, reserved seats, they were given to Dalit people in the state government and in the central government, central legislative council. Right? This was the Pune Pact. This was the Pune Pact. Our next topic, sense of collective belongingness. It would be the most important thing, and I think so it would be the last topic. Now we have seen that maximum people, they participated in the movement, but everyone had different opinion related to Swaraj. Then how to develop the sense of collective belongingness, it would be the most important thing. And this collective belongingness, it was created first of all by the united struggle. Many people, they participated in the movement. They saw that the only cause of their suffering, it was just only the British government. So the sense of the collective belongingness, it was created. Next one, the most important, cultural activities. It played a major role. Means fiction, songs, and folk tales, they were sung everywhere. And in this way, the Indian people, they saw that they had a pride past. They have a great past on which they can have proud. Some symbol like Bharat Mata, some symbols like Bharat Mata and other symbols are also portrayed and also used to create the collective belongingness. Now the Bharat Mata, this image, it was first of all Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee ji name कह सकते हैं. He portrayed this the symbol of Bharat Mata. National song Vande Mataram, it was sung in Swadeshi movement, in non-cooperation movement, in all over the things. Indian folklore, it means Indian folk song and tales, they were sung everywhere. Even history, it was again reinterpreted. It was again explained because Britishers, they saw Indian backward. They were not capable for governing themselves. Then these folk songs, these folk tales told the Indian people that they had a great past in which they saw huge achievement in all over, which was not in all over the world. It was seen. So in this way, the sense of collective belongingness, it was created, and in this way, the Indian people, they had good courage, they got the courage, and they participated for the Swaraj. Right? So these are the methods by which the sense of collective belongingness, it was created. The first one is united struggle. Second, cultural events. Third, different symbols. Next, reinterpretation of the history. Okay, these 4 points and 3 points would be for this question. Okay. Now, dear student, the chapter is over. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope so everything is clear to all of you. So, if you have any doubt, you can ask me this chapter about this chapter at any time. Thank you. Have a nice day.